What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. In today's video, I want to talk about Field Yates' first mock draft that he released and why I think he sent the perfect fit to the New York Jets. Field Yates is ESPN's draft guy, and today he put out his first mock draft, and I wanted to talk about it as the New York Jets currently have the number 6 pick. Obviously, a lot can change, but I just wanted to talk about an NFL draft expert's opinion right now. So the Jets currently picking 6. Here's how the top 5 played out in this draft. Shedeur Sanders went number 1 to the New York Giants. Not a surprise. They need a quarterback. They visited Colorado a million times. They could absolutely take Shedeur. Cam Ward goes to the Raiders, number 2 overall, which leaves Travis Hunter, number 3 for the New England Patriots. Abdul Carter, edge rusher, goes to the Carolina Panthers at 4. And then Calvin Banks, an offensive tackle, goes to the Browns 5th overall. Then at number 6, he has the New York Jets selecting Mason Graham out of Michigan. Just a few days ago, Mason Graham declared for the NFL draft, and here's what Field Yates said at the time about Mason Graham when he declared. Mason Graham is a zero-weakness player. He does everything well. Explosive, powerful, tenacious, a disruptive pass rusher who was pushing experienced college offensive linemen around as an 18-year-old true freshman, a truly dominant player. That's the guy. That's the guy that I want right now for those New York Jets. He's 21 years old. He started as an 18-year-old. He played well immediately going to Michigan. He had, starting experience for multiple years now with Michigan. 6'3", 320 pounds. Gotta love it. That is exactly what I'm looking for to help beef up this defensive line. They need it. This year, he has 34 pressures and 5 sacks. A year ago, he had 24 pressures and 4 sacks. Has just an unbelievable motor. He plays with strength. He's very good against the run. Bingo, that is something that the Jets desperately need. Their run defense has been abysmal. Even when the Jets defense was at its peak in 2022 and 23, the run defense was left to question. And this year, the defense has been shot to hell, whether it be injuries, Robert Saleh being gone, or some foolish decisions from the previous GM on the defensive line. They have talent. There's a lot to work with on that defense, but they need to supplement said talent, and they have a gigantic hole next to Quinnen Williams. There is currently no answer on the roster. Javon Kinlaw, 1-year deal, was horrible. He's not coming back. Solomon Thomas signed another 1-year deal this year. I think he goes wherever Robert Saleh ends up. I don't really want him back anyway. He's been underwhelming his tenure as a New York Jet. Good NFL teams are normally good in the trenches, and that's such a damn cliche. And I almost feel guilty in a way for bringing it up because it seems like that's an obvious thing, but it needs to be talked about because the Jets were a team that had a very, very strong defensive line. No longer the case. The Jets don't have a strong defensive line this year. And when you look at their offensive line, they're almost there on the offensive line. They have 4 young pieces from left tackle all the way over to right guard with Olu Fashanu, John Simpson at left guard, Joe Tippmann at center, and AVT at right guard, who are going to be here next year as starters. They almost have the full unit filled out. Maybe they bring back Morgan Moses. Maybe they go to free agency and find someone else at right tackle, or maybe they could even draft someone at some point in the NFL draft to plug in and play at right tackle. But moral of the story, they're almost there on the offensive line. They have been significantly better as an offensive line unit this year as they've been in 7 years in a really, really, really long time. The defensive line needs work. You have Will McDonald, who's a really damn good pass rusher. You have Jermaine Johnson, but he's returning from injury. We don't know what he's going to be after the Achilles, but I'm excited about Jermaine Johnson. And then, of course, you have Quinnen Williams in the interior, who is still one of the league's best interior defensive linemen. So if your starting base next year is McDonald, Williams, Graham, and Johnson, oh man, look out, because I think the Jets are built. Now we'll see how the new regime thinks. I think they are built perfectly to maintain a 4-man defensive line front. I think McDonald, Williams, Graham, and Johnson as your starters would be excellent. Yes, they still need some depth. They likely need another edge rusher as well. Maybe Leonard Taylor, someone you feel good about developing, not as a starter, but developing and being a role player for this team. They are close to having it figured out on the offensive line. They have a ways to go on the defensive line, but adding a player like this, Mason Graham, would be a home run in my opinion. I don't know about you. I would love the draft pick. I know a lot of people don't like the idea of going interior defensive line. They did that so many times. It's a little bit different now. The Jets haven't drafted an interior defensive lineman in the first round in 6 years. They haven't spent a high draft pick on that position ever since, or they haven't put much thought into that position ever since drafting Quinnen Williams in 2019. You don't have Leonard Williams anymore, or pretty much in the 2010s. I get it. They did it almost every year. It's a long time ago now. Got to put that behind you. I think Graham would be an immediate impact player on this defense. Let me know your thoughts. I'm Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you next time.